Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Horizon 4 with another challenge. We're going racing with A-class cars. However, everybody has been randomly drawn a horsepower figure for which to build their car to. Now, the car had to stay in A-class, but could only use so much power. Now, the numbers were drawn between 250 and 850 horsepower. And we got quite the selection. You know, thankfully, the lucky dip draw did kind of work. So, first of all, we have the least powerful car is the MX-5 here. This is 287 horsepower. So, that's quite low power, really, for A-class. We then have an RX-7. This is 346. That's a bit more sensible. I mean, this sort of level, 346 horsepower for the RX-7. I should also say the cars were given a 5 horsepower leeway, plus or minus 5 horsepower, because building to exact specific can be a little tricky sometimes with cars. So we'll see how it goes. And all the vehicles will have to be kept two-wheel drive just to make things that little bit more interesting. The Mini, that is at 389 horsepower. Ferrari, we have got over here, that's 430. We have got a Skyline. It starts ramping up in power quite quickly. 488 for the Skyline. The front-wheel drive Ford, that's at 500 horsepower. The Racing Puma. Wonderful car, the Racing Puma. That's a lot of power through the front wheels. We have got a 350Z over here, and that one is running 518 horsepower. It then starts getting a little bit mad. 607 horsepower for the front-wheel drive Corsa. That's a lot of power going on in that one. We have then got 649 horsepower for the BMW. I was given quite a high power figure. This is 717 horsepower in my Mercedes. Remember, has to be two-wheel drive. I've got race tyres on it, but they're very skinny race tyres. The second most powerful car, that is up here with the Pontiac. This is at 765 horsepower. However, the most powerful car is another Pontiac. The two most powerful cars are Pontiacs, but we have got 815 horsepower. A-class, rear-wheel drive. Quite what's going to work here is anyone's guess. It should be an interesting time, though. So let's go find out, and let's see how many near-death experiences I have with my Mercedes. So, here we are on the start line for our first race, of which I am quite scared. Oh, one of the cars has already gone. What have we lost? Oh, we've had the Pontiac. One of the Pontiacs is broken down. Oh, God. I feel like I'm not the worst off here. I feel like I'm not the best off either. The Banbury Coast circuit does kind of work for power cars in some ways. I'm all the way down at the back. Thank you, game. This can work for power cars to an extent, and quite a few vehicles to get their required power and stay with an A-class aren't actually able to get race tyre. Basically, cars that are a lot more sensible than mine can't actually get race tyres, which I'm hoping I might be able to use to my advantage here a little bit, even though my car does drive like... I mean, it just understeers. It understeers because it's got 195s all around. I mean, the good news... Well, it's actually not as wheel spinny as you might expect with 717 horsepower. Actually, it's slightly less. Mine's 713, I think, in the end, which is within the acceptable margins. I had to fiddle around with the engine build to try and get a gearbox in because the 4-speed just didn't quite work. I was hoping for, I'm going to be honest, better straight line speed. Now, the downside of going for this car, okay, yes, it does get the power and it gets good tyres. The issue is it doesn't doesn't have the aerodynamics. So yes, we have a lot of power, but we aren't actually the craziest fast thing in a straight line because, well, we've got the front end of it. It doesn't cut through the air nicely like a lot of the cars here. We are up into a 5th place mine, which isn't too shabby. We'll barrel into turn 1. I can't really attack turn 1 with any sort of vigour. We just kind of understeer and wander wide. I could be a lunatic with a throttle and then get a lot of oversteer, but that's not going to help matters either. We'll get a little bit through there. The battle up at the front looks like we've got BMW is leading. The Firebird is in 3rd. Everything is blocked up behind me because... well, I can't take any speed through these corners, but I can run away from that lot on the straight. I kind of want to get involved in that race up here. Actually, a really good battle going on up at the front. Oh, Blakey's coming back at us through there. The course is getting involved as well. Come on, slow down, you silly Mercedes. If they keep fighting like this, I might join in that group just by virtue of the fight going on. I feel like the Nissan with 600 horsepower is going to be better off accelerating in straight line speed than me. I do think that is. That thing's got mighty straight line speed going on. I mean, this has become about... it's not just about the power, it's about the whole thing. It's about the power, about the aero, and all of that going together. See, my race tyres are actually kind of doing me some good here, you know. I can't speak too soon. I certainly shouldn't speak too soon. The race tyre's kind of keeping me almost within touch of what is a massive battle. That Corsa has got some serious go about it. I have to start defending a little bit, I think. I have to be worried about the bright pink car behind me more than the cars ahead of me, perhaps, before the end of this race. Maybe a short shift up to 4th might do the trick through here. Of course, it's still looking. Well, the skyline's still there as well. See, the Corsa has got 600. The Corsa's got enough straight line speed. Like, the Corsa is faster than me down the bloody straights. Let's go look to the outside. Remember, that Corsa has all its power going through the front wheels. That is a lot of power through the front of that car, and my tiny tyres are just not good enough here. Come on. Get onto this start-finish straight we go. Oh! I mean, we're not the worst off. It's infuriating for the Skyline. As I said, it's two-wheel drive. The Skyline would have been rear-wheel drive swap. They were allowed to convert cars, if so wished. That Corsa actually might be one of the... strangely, might be one of the biggest threats in this. That's got some serious top end and is actually sensible through the corners. They had a little bit of a fight, an argument with the Firebird, and lost in that battle. The Firebird much bigger and much heavier. This is a fantastic squabble. The BMW's now got to the lead as the Nissan ran wide. The Ferrari's up to... well, the Ferrari's up to... maybe even gets the lead around the outside for all of this. It doesn't look like it will. So all sorts of different builds going on are all working. I'm like half a second a lap down from being right in this fight. Corsa's having a dive on the Pontiac and is going to make that place stick by the looks of it. If I get things right in this, it's not bad through these corners. You've really got such a fine line with the Mercedes. Still battling away at the front. I think the BMW's going to retake the lead from the Ferrari. The Nissan's going to outdrag all of them, and here comes that Vauxhall. This could be the most spectacular finish we get to witness but not quite take part in, or it could be a massive crash and we can pick up the pieces when it all goes wrong. I'm okay with either way, or I spin on my own like a lunatic and we waste all the hard work that we've done so far, or Blakey passes us. I think we're far enough away from the Skyline to not quite be in any danger from that. The Firebird really wants to have a look at the inside of the Corsa. There's nothing giving through there. BMW's put a little bit of gap. The Nissan's struggling immensely. I'd imagine the Nissan's not got very good tyres. To get that level of power in that car and keep it in A-class, you're going to compromise. You're going to have suffered somewhere in the build, and my guess would be on tyres. That's the way you would save the PI necessary here. We are going to try and start. It's actually not bad through this section. Strange with the Mercedes. It's really not too bad. I think it's the braking on my car is actually quite good, weirdly. We come out of the final corner. We're closer to the Pontiac. Oh, the drag race to the line. The Nissan might actually be able to do it. I think, the Nissan pinged off the wall. I don't actually know who won there. There's a big crash across the line. What way did that go? It went the way of the Ferrari. God, look how close it was. I mean, look at the lap times as well. I tell you what, with the exception of the Corsa, those lap times are crazy. Everyone was super, super close. I was not expecting that as far as results go. I was expecting a lot more spread out field and a bit weirdness. That was good. Let's see what the next race brings. So, for our next race, we head to the Greendale Club Circuit. I mean, I'm hoping my car will work okay. Oh, come on, why? I think, oddly, the Corsa might actually just run away from everything. Which I can't believe is a sentence that I am saying in this, but it does really seem like that is mighty, mighty fast in this particular guise. But we will have to wait. The two front-wheel drive cars are up at the very front. Well, we've got the Mini. Mini's kind of more sensibly powered, perhaps, in this one. Either way, we're going to launch well. Now, we should... oh, the Pontiac has turned up. It has no traction. Good God, do we shift off the line well. Okay, well that, I guess, is just race tyre launch for the Mercedes. I wasn't expecting that, actually. We didn't really see that at Bamber. I guess you don't really get a long enough run into the first corner to quite, I guess, get a feel for that. Of course, compared to the Vauxhall, that front-wheel drive launch is always going to be... there's a lot of power going to the front wheels. It's always going to be bad off the line. It'd be bad getting out of slow corners, but around this circuit, there's not really any slow corners. I suspect it's going to come breezing past us when we get to the start-finish straight. The Ferrari is going to be impatient behind both me and the Nissan to an extent. If anything, I'm quicker than the Nissan through some of these corners as well. The Corsa is definitely much better. I mean, you've got to bear in mind, yes, I have race tyres and some of the cars around me do not, but I've got a chassis from the 1930s and I had no PI for things like anti-roll bars or a roll cage. And while the engine is a Mercedes V8, I believe, in this, the rest of it is from the 30s. The brakes are upgraded, the suspension is as well, but that's about as far as it goes. Oh, we're going to get to the inside of the Ford. We are not going to quite make that one stick here. That is not going to work at all. We're going to bobble across the grass. We're going to have some trouble here with our Mercedes, so that's okay. We'll try and gather it all back up. It's like, it's strange. Like, I've got a good change of direction in this car. I haven't really got much speed. I can't really carry the speed, but I can change direction quite well. Like, low speed change direction in this car is fantastic. But I can't really maintain that speed for some of the other corners quite. We're all over the back of the Ford. It's not going to work though. There goes the MX-5, the least powerful car here, but of course very, very light with it. Has some very big tyres. This track's not working for the Mercedes, I'll say that much. Although we do get a good run onto the start-finish straight, we'll say bye-bye to the MX-5. Yes, your 280 horsepower is not enough for that. I hit my aero, but it's not aero limit, but I hit that kind of wall I really struggle to punch past. Can we get to the inside of Ford? No, we cannot. BMW has got way more grip than me through there. Gee, that's alarming, really. No, we're all going to get stacked up a little bit behind. The Puma just doesn't seem to do very well in this mid-sector of the lap. It just can't seem to carry much corner speed, but no one can really seem to be able to overtake it. Whoa, big moving around from the bends. What is leading the way? The Corsa. Funnily enough, that is still up at the front. We're annoying an MX-5 by being incredibly in the way and just unable... Oh, that's not what we needed. Because tail the rear bumper is not going to do you any good. I want to be in more control than I am. Oh, it just moves around a lot, does this. We are gradually slipping back through all of this. Liam is struggling again with the Pontiac, so the power cars are not having much luck around here. But I say the power cars are not having much luck. I guess the really outlandish cars are not having much luck. Danger Man is out very wide with the Ford. In some ways I'm surprised. I expected the Ford to... I mean, the Corsa's doing as well as it is. I expected the Ford perhaps to also go well. I know that's a damn good handling car. In this instance, apparently not quite working for the racing Puma. Oh no. My car is not nice to drive around this circuit. It was okay at Bamborough. Here it's just not, it's not very nice. It's constantly on edge. I don't know whether this track, maybe this track's a bit bumpier. Well, Bamborough's not exactly the smoothest circuit. I don't know. Whatever it is, I don't like it very much. We have now got the Firebird, and we will have the Firebird for company on this final lap. The most powerful car in the field is trying to hunt us down here. Wonderful, that's what we needed. The only plus point is I might have a little bit more grip than it if I don't do that. Oh god. Come on. Some stability in the Merc would be nice. Any kind of stability. Oh. Come on, get through these corners. Oh, we're in a world of trouble. I think the Firebird may well just beat us to the line. It depends on how well it uses it. It's going to be heavy. Oh, the Puma's had an accident. The Ford's had a big issue with the wall through there. Can I capitalise on this? I mean, a sneaky opportunity at a 5th place. I'm not going to turn that one down if we can make it work. It will be a drag race to the line. Don't think the Ford is going to have much of an answer. You know what? I'll take a slightly nicked 5th at the death of that one. Certainly the car didn't deserve much more. I couldn't have got much more speed out of it. Bloody hell, it's really, really close at the front between the Corsa, the Ferrari and the Fairlady Z in the end. It would go the way of the Corsa. BMW gets 4th. I cling on to that 5th place just about. The MX-5 was quick. It may have got ensnared in traffic. I mean, the GTR was quite similar that time. The lap times are surprisingly bloody similar in all of this. This kind of midfield section. The lap times are surprisingly close for a lot of us. My car is... I'm questioning my choice just a tiny bit. We head next to what might possibly be the worst kind of circuit for my car. I don't know. Oh, I'm typical. This is the one where it starts me towards the front. Asmore Heritage Circuit. Okay, yes, I have some power. My top speed is okay, but it's... the aerodynamics limit me in this one. The bigger concern is a lot of high-speed, medium-speed corners, and I don't think that's where the Mercedes is really going to shine. These tyres are too small. It's a bit too uncontrollable, really. So... Yeah, we have to wait and see. The launch is crazy on it. The launch off the line is absolutely ridiculous, and I don't quite know why that would be the case. I'm really unsure as to why that's the case. However, that is how it works, so I'll make the most of the lead, however briefly it might be, that I hold on to it, because we're not going to be able to match that Ferrari through here. We can already see the back end of the Merc sliding around. Nope. And the front end just doesn't even turn in. It's just got nothing. The Firebird, that is turning in better through these corners than I am. That's a problem for me. If we have, I guess, lots of very low speed acceleration zones, maybe. Oh, God, there's the 350Z. That's going to have a look to the inside. And I just can't fight that, really. If a lot of maybe low speed acceleration zones, as stupid as it sounds, that's never what I would think I would be saying about this car. Maybe? But yeah, lots of low speed corners might be where I get some sort of a chance. Otherwise, it's just too understeery. It's just a massive lack of grip, which is to be expected, I guess, really, from the car. And I knew that going into building it was going to have troubles with that kind of thing. I guess I hoped the top speed was going to be that little bit better. It's the aerodynamics that just limit it so much. It's not the same with the first car. It's not the only car. Bentleys and so on. The very classic Bentleys. I've built some of them. They're very quick cars, but you know they hit this aero wall that you just can't do anything about. You just can't accelerate because they've got such poor aerodynamics. The RX-7's had a look. It probably won't keep hold of that place because I don't think it's got much in the way of an answer for my straight line speed. The Corsa's had a tougher race. Started further back. I mean, front-wheel drive just loses such a huge amount of time off the line even. It's taken it a while to get going, but it is on the march now, and it is probably going to cause us grief before the end of this one. There it is, to the inside. I think the RX-7 was trying to cut underneath me and just didn't realise there was a Vauxhall having a look for a way past. It's very easy to do, actually. You know, if you look behind you on the way into a corner, perhaps, and not seen anything there, and you're busy fighting the car ahead, and somebody else has got a vastly different car in terms of where it's making its lap speed, perhaps, it can suddenly sneak up on you. And yeah, you can get yourself into some trouble with those sort of collisions. No one's catching the Ferrari, I'll tell you that much around here. Even if the Corsa can get a faster lap time, it won't catch it. Not with what's left of the race. Oh, the Vauxhall's to the outside. I mean, I would... You're probably, to be fair, you're probably not even going to need to worry about passing me in a corner. I think that thing just outruns me to the straights anyway. It has the aerodynamics too. We'll duck into line behind it, try and reduce the drag on the front of the Merc. There's only going to be so much that I can, and then just outdrags me and then proceeds to outturn me through the next corner. There's another great big fight going on. Oh God, up ahead. Oh, here comes the Ford. That might actually be a problem as well. For some reason I thought that was the Skyline. It isn't. I guess I saw blue and assumed it was the Skyline. Yeah, that might be a difficult one to get back past again. Turn 1. It does not handle as well as that Vauxhall, I'll say that much, for the Puma. It really doesn't handle the corners as well, which does very much surprise me. We're busy having a look every which way we can, but I'm not going to find a way past. Oh, that's a little wide as well for me. Bobbles some grass, not what I need on my race tyres. We get a good run on the exit here. The RX-7's still all over the back of us looking for a way past. We definitely stand more of a chance against the Ford than the cars up ahead. Further up ahead, I should say. Even that's got the top end on me down here. It's just a car that might have as much understeer as I do. Actually, quite even in terms of the understeer. Possibly a little more for me, but still, that RX-7 is looking, and it might actually get the place briefly around the outside. It's a good pass to take that position away, and I will say thank you very much for it back. I can out-accelerate the Mazda. What are we going to do? I guess we should keep doing what we're doing, really. If we can fend it off, if it takes a dive at that final corner, it doesn't matter. It won't be able to outrun me to the finish line, I wouldn't expect. Not impossible, but I think it's very difficult. We're very much a mid-pack car at this track. After the highs of the first race, I thought there was some promise. It's kind of gone wrong for me, and that big slide there is not going to help matters. The RX-7 will get past. God, please, just do something, Mercedes. It's just so bad through the corners. It really is so bad. And this is actually about the worst case scenario for me on the Mazda, because it's now ahead of me going into these corners. Oh, I wanted to try and compromise it. No, I think it might have got me. Unless it makes a mistake. That's a good sign for me there, is it having a wobble. But I'm not close enough. I think it got me. I slid too much through that sort of long double corner. I just couldn't get the car under control. Yeah, once I open the door, nothing we can do with the bends. It is just not... Yeah, that track I knew was going to be painful. That's really not the sort of circuit that my car is going to enjoy. Jeez, the Corsa made its way up to second. It was flying. The Ferrari does take victory. Of course, it gets fasted up very close in terms of lap time. Very close in terms of lap time between third and fourth as well there, I just noticed. Oh, we've progressively got worse and worse to drive. We're going to be not very high up the order in this next race if that track record continues. Well, for the final run with these wacky selection of cars, we have come to the Edinburgh Station Circuit. Ooh. Okay. I start on pole. We know my car launches very, very quickly. This track might be a bit more suited to the bends. It's a bit more stop-start. There's kind of more of these 90-degree corners, and I think they will work better for me. Perhaps certainly more so than the high-speed stuff. If there's a track that this car is going to work at, this is a good chance. As I said, we can get a good launch. It's not a big long run towards the first corner, which is a bit of a shame for me. But yeah, we have this. At least we will have the lead coming out of probably Ghost mode. Although maybe not. That Testarossa is very good. Yeah, that might just have a little too much grip for me. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, bloody railing. Okay, I don't think I have an answer to the Ferrari. We've got a good gap to the rest of the pack, though. We've got a good gap to the rest of that. Yeah, okay. But understandably, perhaps, the Ferrari is a lot better through these corners than I am. Now, we will out-drag it, I have no doubt, but we will out-accelerate it to an extent. Again, it's the top speed issue might actually be closer than I would want it to be, but never mind. Can we fend off? I mean, we've got the 850 coming up behind us. Can I fend off from that? Then we've got the Mini, the Corsa. We know we can't match the Corsa. We do outrun the BMW, though, down this straight. We can probably be an annoyance to a bunch of cars. As I often am at the street circuits, can make life very difficult for the cars following me. It's just difficult to overtake. Difficult to overtake when you've got this level of acceleration, really. Street furniture, please get out of the way. Now, what we might find is cars might dive to the inside there to try and get past me. I mean, it'd be a valid enough strategy. You could try and make that one work. These next couple of corners are probably the ones that I'm most vulnerable at here, just because of that. I just don't have the grip, and then it's this next corner as well. Oh, I don't want to put the BMW into a wall. Yeah, again, it's just one slide too many for the Mercedes. It's just as soon as you make the tiniest error, and that is the downside. If you're going to drive super defensive, some races you have to, some cars you have to. You make one mistake and you're going to be in trouble. BMW moves across to defend. Now, can we get this pass done and defend it into the final corner? We'll let the BMW shoot through and go for a cutback on the exit, and we will reclaim our second place. Okay. We recovered that nicely. The Ferrari's running away at the front again. The sensible power level in the Ferrari is good. Really, I think the biggest surprise in this one, for me, has been that Corsa. 600 horsepower through the front wheels is a stupid amount. That shouldn't work. I know the Corsa is a good car in this game. I've built them before. To good effect in lower classes, certainly, but 600 horsepower through the front wheels in A-class sounds like a recipe for something horrible. That thing is mighty quick. Come on, Benz, you can do this. We've just got to cling on for a couple more laps. If the BMW can keep the Corsa at bay, that'd be really helpful. Otherwise, it's going to be the fight between me and the BMW for the podium. The Mini's actually up in 5th place. The Mini's having a good race around this one. The Corsa has got past the BMW. I say with relative ease. Oh, although by the looks of the headlights, it's then gone straight into the next corner, and they're having their own squabble over, you know what, you fight each other tooth and nail over third, please. That gives me as good an opportunity. Longbow's just buggered off into the distance in this one. Yeah, that Testarossa has got a lot of grip, and while yes, I am quicker than it down the straight, there's nowhere near enough straights for that to be a thing that I that matters, basically. So yeah, that's long gone. We're gonna bobble a curb and slide. It's only a small slide though this time from the bends. Okay, we're definitely not the fastest car around this track. We're definitely not the second fastest car around this track that goes to the Corsa. But we are much better suited here than we have been elsewhere. Oh, I just saw headlights going to the inside. That's the thing with this is actually set to evening, I think. At the time, the headlights do give you a little bit more information as to where cars are around you sometimes. Can be slightly helpful to kind of inform you when vehicles are moving around and having a dive. I thought I was much further clear of that BMW than I actually was. Now we're going to try and fend off from the Corsa for the remainder of this race, and I just don't... Oh, well, the Corsa's still fighting that Beamer. The 850 is not giving up on the chance at a podium here. It's kind of a shame. Someone in this group is going to miss out on a podium, and it has been a hell of a hard-fought battle between all of us to try and keep our respective cars, either keep our cars on the podium or get our cars onto the podium. And yeah, someone's going to miss out. I'm really hoping it's not the Benz. I fear that it might be, because this car is out of control. Oh, that's a great pass from the BMW if they can pull it up in time, which they do. Now, we know though that this is the section that I am better than the 850 at. We have more straight line speed than the BMW. We will out-accelerate it. The Corsa might be too far back in the end. The Corsa may be too far back in the end to do very much. As we head towards the final corner, it is going to be a podium for the Merc. A great race to finish as well. Yeah, much better suited to there. Nothing could touch the speed of that Testarossa. Maybe the Corsa in clean air, to be honest. We never really got the chance and all that. Oh, the Mini was running well in 5th. That ended up slips down to 8th place. The very powerful Pontiac does get the 5th in the end ahead of the RX-7, the Nissan further down the field. Look at that, the Benz is on the podium. This was a really interesting challenge, actually. This is a really interesting challenge. Has thrown up some different car builds, some different vehicles, much closer than I thought it was going to be in places. I didn't really know what was going to happen. I didn't know if we were going to have sort of a big spread in terms of pace for the cars, but actually worked out pretty good. The Benz is a very sort of scenario-specific car. I think it's one of those cars that can occasionally, as you saw in that final race, it can sneak a podium. It's never going to win a race, not unless something goes drastically wrong. It's not good enough in any areas to really excel at a specific circuit, but it was an interesting drive. I'm glad I went for the brave choice, you know. We were certainly involved in some good scraps, that is for sure. Anyway, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.